Okay. Hello, everyone. Isabel Faria here. As you know, I'm a realtor in South Florida, Broward County, to be exact, in the USA. I'm with Remax House of Real Estate, and I'm here today to talk to you about how the real estate industry has been affected with the coronavirus. And today I will be presenting Jeff Lippman, my broker, and head of the largest brokerage in Broward County, and whom I'm very happy to work with and belong to the family that he represents. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Can you
Hi,
introduce yourself?
hi, Isabel, and we're very, very happy to have you. You are a great member of the family. You're a great person and great agent. So thank you. Yes, I'm Jeff Lippman. I'm the broker owner of Remax House of Real Estate and Remax in Motion in Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, and Coral Springs. We are the largest Remax here in Broward County. And yeah, we're hunkering down, and our only prerogative is help our agents and help our buyers and sellers get through this crisis.
Can you explain what you do in the real estate industry?
Yes, in the real estate industry, what I do as a broker, is that your question?
Yes. Hmm.
So that is an open-ended question because brokers can do lots of different things, including buying and selling real estate. Personally, it is my prerogative to help my agents in my company um, produce as much business and grow their business as much as they possibly can. That's what our brokerage does for the agents. That's our service, is a business that grows other businesses. So that's what we focus on. That's what I focus on as a broker is education, services, tools, support, and basically just being there as a team member in your guys' growing businesses.
Great. And we feel it and we appreciate it. It's great to work with a family that is always up to date and always looking for the newest tools and advances to help us and help us help our clients. Um, I wanted to ask you, for our viewers, what changes have you had to make or adapt to these new circumstances? Even though I know by belonging to your group that you were already ahead of the curve, but is there anything new that you have had to uh, come into applying?
Absolutely. So we're always trying to be forward thinking and also have the luxury of being part of the Remax network and part of other mastermind networks of brokers and people who are going through this. And that's one of the things about this is the whole country's going through it. So yes, we from the very beginning have been adapting almost on a daily basis, right, Isabella? I mean, you've been paying attention to the news. They change the rules or the guidelines. I won't call them laws, right? They're suggestions or what have you, even though in Fort Lauderdale, they actually made it a law and said that they could be arresting people or fining people. And now that rule looks to have changed, but we're not even 100% certain because it's all based on the interpretation. So it's been a very fluid situation. What have we done? We've just done our best to be on top of the fluid situation and to provide the agents and the industry with as much information as we possibly can to help them. So from the very beginning, when these protocols or the social distancing protocols were put into place, we immediately created a system, and that's really all it is. And any agent can come up with this on the top of their head, but we wanted to put together a system that you guys could follow without having to reinvent it for yourselves, that would allow you to both be safe, because we want you guys to be able to be safe while still being able to help the community, and allow the buyers and sellers to be safe. So we created a system of virtual showings and even a way to make sure that people who were traveling outside the country or who had been in places where they could pick this up would have to answer questions and would have more stringent protocol to get them into houses. As it stands now, that's not even really relevant that they traveled outside the country, because obviously you can go to the grocery store now and pick this up, and we know more and more about it every single day, but still kind of really know nothing about it. So we're just trying to stay ahead of the curve, as you said. and provide our agents with as much information that they can then turn around and provide to their clients so that they look like they're the experts at all times. That's the best that we can do for them right now. We are also at the same time, our marketing department isn't going anywhere. We believe agents, if unable to or unwilling to be pounding down doors and be out in the community, what you should be doing is just reaching out to clients and past customers and anybody who might want just, somebody to talk to or some guidance or some help or questions answered. And we're providing you with content to put out in social media and in other avenues so that you can stay front and center with your clients, as everybody is in an unprecedented time now, basically living life on Facebook and social media, right? So that's the other thing we want to do for you guys, which is allow you to just be front and center. So when this all opens up and people need to go out and buy and sell again, they're all going to know that you're there for them.
Yes. I know we're implementing the protocols. Most of us have videos of our listings. So I was lucky that I had some people overseas looking into things and had the videos already done. But we have picked up most of it. But is there anything that you would like to recommend? Because there's always people needing or wanting to sell or buy at any point in time. So there's at this moment people needing or wanting to buy and needing or wanting to lease. So what would be your recommendations for people with those needs? At this moment, do you recommend recommend them to do?
I really like that question right now because there's two sides to that answer. There's what you recommend people do to remain safe through the virus. And then there's what we recommend people do based on financial needs and the current environment and market that we have right now. And so if I'm forgetting about keeping people safe for the moment, and answering the first part, which is that if somebody needs to sell right now, now is an amazing time to sell. And if somebody needs to buy, now is an amazing time to buy. If a seller doesn't need to sell, they might consider holding onto it because prices could be going up when this all comes to an end. And so, if it's an investment that you can carry, or if you've got no real need to get out of the property, I don't know that I'd be listing it. But if I have to list it, or I need the money, right now is a great time because buyers have buying power almost never before seen, in that interest rates for mortgages are so low that a person looking to buy, a $500,000 property can almost afford a $600,000 property with the same mortgage payment, meaning buyers may not be more willing to go out and buy because of what's going around with coronavirus, but they are actually more able to buy houses, meaning there is the ability for people to go out and buy houses, and then there are plenty of people who need to buy houses. We're seeing it every single day. People who are realizing that agents are less and less willing to go out and show properties are actually calling us and saying, please, can somebody help us? We need to find a property. So for that reason, it's a great time. Obviously, then my recommendation now when I'm talking about people, and caring about the coronavirus and people's health, the other side of that is you just need to do it very smartly and very safe, and wear gloves and wear masks and limit the amount of people that go in. The agents can easily open the door, go sit in their car, have them go in, come in after them, one by one. Make sure that you have open house kits. We're not doing open houses, but we have this thing in the industry called an open house kit that always goes in your car. You have signs and a sign-in sheet and a whole bunch of stuff so that you can hold an open house in a moment. Well, now we need to have an open house kit that has Lysol and disinfectant and hand sanitizer and all that. And we should have that stuff on us at all times so that we can continue to be doing it in the safest way possible. Limit interactions. If you're not really interested in a property, we're not going to go show you that property. You need to prove you can buy. Right now you should always be getting proof of funds, but right now that's even more important than ever. And real estate agents have a really great reason to ask for that now, because I'm only going to let somebody in this home who is super serious about buying it. We recognize recognize you have to see it and be inside the home for the most part if you're going to make that decision to spend that kind of money and buy a property. But if I'm going to be doing that, we need to be making sure we're limiting it as much as possible so that we can keep everybody as safe as we possibly can. And it's a balance, and some people on either side of that are going to be are going to feel passionately for or against doing that for their own personal reasons. And that's what we're recommending that our agents do is if this is something where you have a higher risk and you don't want to put yourself in that position, nobody's going to bat an eyelash. Nobody's going to look negatively upon you because you're not willing to do that. And the same goes for the sellers. You know, if they're not willing to have people come through their home, obviously no agent's going to push them to do that. No buyer's going to push them to do that. But if everybody comes together, if the agent is willing and is going to keep things as safe as possible, if the seller wants to be able to sell their home and understands people need to come in and the buyer is willing to come in and see it, at this point, based on the rules, that's being done. So yeah, that's what we're trying to keep it as safe as possible.
I agree with you completely in the points of view and the options that sellers and buyers have. And to my surprise, one client of mine who asked me to list the property that we did list and told me that he thought this was a great moment to list because there's so little offer out there. So he thinks it's a great moment for the buyers, as you express, and we all know because they can afford more than they could in other moments. And he says, due to that fact that some people are going to realize it's maybe not this week, but maybe the next, or maybe some people already know it and are looking. And he decided, you know, I'm going to list my property. Please list it right away because I want to be one of the few that is offering something for these people that are looking for this right opportunity that it's being presented for them right now. So it's great. I was gonna.
And that's a great point too, Isabel, with the fact that, and there's a lot of factors that are going into this, but yes, also the fact that a lot of people, for example, I know one neighborhood in particular where, you know, a month ago they had 17 active listings in that large neighborhood. And then if you look today, they probably have 10 active listings. And one did sell through all this, but a lot of the other ones were all just taken off the market because people are uncomfortable. And so, yes, when you have fewer homes, prices go up. Prices are not necessarily going up yet, but there are fewer homes and there are people, as you said, on the other side, more able to buy. And so that combination means if you find the right buyer out there, you know, you're going to be able to make sales and you're probably going to get calls pretty quickly on that listing.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I agree. Do we have any strategies for the long term? Because we're expecting after this to have a very strong real estate market. And so we need to prepare for what's coming to us. I mean, it's going to be great, but it's going to be a lot of work and we need to be able to handle it. And it's going to be kind of back to normal because right now we're doing so many things digital. We are showing digital, even though vacant homes are easier. And I do have my Remax, like the gift bag that we have. I have it with my Lysol gloves, masks, and Clorox wipes. So I look like a cleaning person if I need to go, because I have had to go and check homes that are empty, even though they're empty. Because I have one tenant that got stuck somewhere and asked me to go and close the water. And I also have a listing that the people wanted to make me, have me go and check. So I have my kit. And also when we have vacant homes, I kind of spray with Lysol, the Supra or the lockbox and the doorknob, everything. So I do have my kit. It's more common that we're going more digital with videos and stuff. But we need to be ready for what's coming. So what are we thinking about the long term now?
You know, that's a very good point because I think that this is forcing a lot of people who were not looking to take this technological leap because it was just something that they didn't want to waste any of their brain power or time figuring out. I think you're seeing them now have to do that. And so that is going to allow people to be better at marketing and better at utilizing these technologies, which we were utilizing before. You know, Isabel, our meetings are now or had now been available through Zoom. We were using Zoom before it became the new hot thing because we have to, because it's a wonderful way to speak to clients and to talk to people, especially in this ever more global landscape where our clients are everywhere, especially in South Florida. It's a great way to do this. And so I think for marketing purposes and technology purposes, we're all going to be a little bit better at video. Now, for those of us who have been doing well with that, that means there's going to be more agents in competition doing that. So I think that the best advice, because this is, and as of right now, I'm still going to say this, I think this is a short-term thing. We're going to come out of this, as you said, the National Association of Realtors economists is saying that if this is just a month or two, which it probably won't be, it will be longer than that. But if it is just that, it's going to be a hot market like we've never seen when it's done. If it's a little longer than that, 4 or 5 months, it looks like people are going to have a little bit of adjustment time. But then after that, we should have, again, a ridiculously hot market. And how are agents going to be able to prepare for that? Well, outside of what you're doing with marketing and social media, how you're going to prepare for that is by making sure every possible client and by finding new ones that you could possibly work with know who you are right now, like you, and understand that you're a great option to work with when they're going to need a realtor. Right now, they don't. And all realtors are pretty good at getting in front of people, if that person is ready to go buy a house right now, but nobody is right now, basically. And so what you need to get good at is creating the relationship so that in the future, because we know it's coming, in the future, they're going to look to you as somebody who will be able to be there for them in that capacity. And that's all we should be doing. And we can do that through social media, but honestly, that's done through personal relationships and phone calls. And we have an unprecedented time in history where people are coming together, checking in on one another. And so there's no reason you can't call a past client, or you can't call even somebody out of the blue, a cold call, and just ask them about their family, ask them how they're doing, tell them about you and what you're going through. Obviously mentioning you're a real estate agent. And if they want to talk about the market, they'll bring it up. I promise. If they want to sell their house or buy a house, they'll bring it up. I promise. If they don't, then you will be appeasing their fears, because most people think realtors are just sleazy salesmen. You're going to show them that that's not what you're all about. And then, of course, that can't be the only phone call or time you reach out to the person. And there you go. That's how you're going to be building a client base, so that when this is over, you can end up putting an entire year's worth of business into the last few months of this year. And set yourself up for a nice little run here. That's what I'm recommending to every agent. Of course, most won't do that. So you just need to be part of the group that will.
Great. Yes, I agree. And I also wanted to mention we had a great meeting yesterday by Zoom, by the way.
The most people I've ever had show up for a meeting at one time. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, sometimes we're on the run, and even though you've been doing our meetings, we're in person, but we always had the Zoom option because many of us are out there and cannot be at the meeting at the time, and that was the reason that you offered it in the beginning. Absolutely. For so long. But now it's been in place for so long, and we are now in the option that we have to do it that way, so it works perfectly. But we had a great meeting yesterday, and one of the things that I liked, and I think that people should know, is that everybody's afraid of a recession and thinking that we're going to be affected by the recession. And I loved all Brian's presentation, by the way. Thank you, Brian. And one of the things he presented was from the last 5 recessions, we could see that real estate was not really affected. Of course, 2008 we were, but it wasn't a specific recession originated by something that was very related to us.
Correct.
So of course we would be affected, but it's great to know that real estate is not always affected because we're having a recession. So I think people out there should know that real estate is not always affected by a recession. So if we come into a recession, not necessarily that. And the other thing that I would like the public to know is that many investments with a recession, let's see the stock market, it goes completely down when it goes down. And of course, some things disappear. Some companies cannot make it up when it corrects. But in the real estate industry, you invest now we're not talking about housing itself, that people need their home, buy or sell, but many investors buy a lot of properties to have rent and live out of rental income, and they will always have that. It's not going to disappear. Your property, it's there. The land is there, the property, it's there.
Yes.
And you keep sometimes with a recession, the prices go down, even for sell or rent, but it's always there, and you always receive your money back. So I think it's a great thing to take into account, because with these recessions, it's so hard to think of what am I going to invest at. And well, we have a great market, and of course, also this is Florida. Who doesn't want to be in Florida? We have public from all around, which is one of the reasons we already had videos and presented properties online and live streaming and all that. We already had all that on the table. And well, we have a huge public, and everybody wants to come to Florida. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that because I thought the presentation yesterday was great, and it covered a lot of points. So another great meeting that we had.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say thank you about that.
You're welcome. And there's a lot to unpack there. Brian is our in-house mortgage person, and he gave us a little taste of history when, as you mentioned, recessions have occurred. I think everybody has 2007, 2008 fresh in their minds, and most people's minds, the most recent events is what kind of stands out. We kind of forget things that happened earlier than that. And that one was caused by the housing market and by irresponsible loans and things of that nature, which is why prices dropped the way they did. That's a unique situation. Every other time we've had a recession, it was, like you said, an outside event that caused it, not real estate. And so everything you just said as to why real estate is an excellent investment and will continue to be an excellent investment, especially, like you said, here in South Florida. People should know, even in 2008, homes on the water with really nice views and things like that didn't really drop in price too much. And that's one of the nice things about Florida and about real estate here, is that this is where people want to be, because you can't take those views away. You can't take that beach away. It's there, and that makes the values stay nice and high. And so, yes, that will continue. Everything we talked about before, as far as the market, that's going, prices are probably going to go up. And like you said, in the recessions, prices have risen after the recessions. And furthermore, one thing we talked about in the meeting is that the United States is doing a lot of things that, and who knows how long this is going to last, but if it lasts, what they're saying, 6 or fewer months, we've put in place a lot of things that are intended to help people come out of this, still with the ability to buy or sell. There will still always be, even if the worst happens, people who need to buy or sell. And investors out there looking to buy. So you may have to adapt who you're talking to on a daily basis, but the agents who know that there is business to be done are going to rise to the top, and all the ones who don't know where to find it because they're really unwilling to look are not. And so both for real estate investment purposes and for agents and their business, I do think it really only looks like positives if we can see ourselves through this.
Great. Well, Jeff, I'm sure many people would like to follow you and contact you. So can you give us the information for the people that would like
Absolutely. If you want to follow us, we are on Instagram and Facebook primarily. And you can find our office's Instagram, which is professionally run, at Remax HORE. That is House of Real Estate acronym. So Remax HORE. And I am Remax HORE Broker. So at Remax HORE Broker. And then if you are on Facebook and you look up Jeff Lippman, you will find me. All the things that have Remax, that's me. I'm that Jeff Lippman. And our office, Remax House of Real Estate, is also, we have a social page that you can follow everything that our agents are doing there as well. We're all over social media.
Okay, I thank you so much, Jeff, for being here with us. I hope we have given some useful information, you all. And I'll see you next time. Maybe
and you
I
get
can
more information, call Isabel, because Isabel is on top of everything. We're making sure of that, but I know she's got you covered.
Thank you, Jeff. And maybe next time I can interview someone like Brian. That would be great. I'll contact him. And thank you all. And on the description, you will also have Jeff's information, and you have mine. So thank you all, and have a great day. Bye, Jeff.